Welcome to Webcertain TV. I'm Ben Lefebvre. Austria can often be bundled together with its larger neighbour, Germany, rather than being treated as a country in its own right. Susanne Atkins-Krüger is here to explain what makes Austria different and what the savvy international marketer should take into account when targeting the country. Thank you very much, Susanne, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a bit more about Austria in terms of the internet landscape? Like, for example, what is the internet penetration in Austria or anything like that?
Yeah, okay. So Austria is one of the smallest countries in Europe with only 8.5 million population. The web penetration lies at 80%, which is lower than the 87% seen in Germany. 2/3 of internet users do this via their mobiles. So this is already quite developed.
Yeah. In terms of the activities, online activities, what Austrian people tend to do?
Yeah.
Do they kind of browse products? Do they go on social media? What do they do?
Yeah. When Austrians are using the internet, they do this mainly to check up on news. They do shopping. 59% are doing online banking, and they access social networks.
Okay. What type of news do they have a look at? Like in terms of what news sites do they go to?
The biggest knowns are the orf.at, which are the news sites of the Austrian TV channels, but also all the known newspapers have their own websites.
Okay. And I think one of the most important questions is, what is the most important search engine in Austria? Is that Google, like
yes,
most of the
Google,
countries?
like in Germany, but actually they use it even more. 95% are using Google versus 93% in Germany. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pure player, really.
Okay. Regarding the language, people say, Austrian is slightly different. I mean, German spoken in Austria is slightly different to German from Germany, but is it more like in terms of spoken German or also written German? Are there any differences?
Yeah.
Or?
First of all, the official language in Austria is German, and the main difference lies in the vocabulary. So there are certain words which are different in Austria, but every Austrian would understand the German equivalent word for it. There are some differences as well in grammatic and on written, but they are very small, I would say.
Okay. So does it make sense to have only one website to target those two countries, or would it be better to have like two websites, or it depends on the industry and the case?
Absolutely, it depends on the industry. So for instance, if your website is anyhow linked with food or fruits or vegetables, then definitely I would recommend to do a research based on Austrian German. If not, you should be pretty fine in using a German website for Austria as well. Okay,
so like even fashion would be all right?
Yes.
These kind of things. Okay,
yes.
Cool. Regarding cultural differences, is there anything you need to take into consideration when you target Austrian people?
First of all, Austria is a landlocked country, and it was always influenced by its surrounding countries. So that means Austria is very European. In terms of culture, Austrians are very similar to Germans, maybe a little bit more laid back. And also it's good to know that Vienna, its capital, was the art metropole in the late 19th, early 20th century. And since then, Austrians are very much into music, in opera, into balls, in theater. Austrians like also to meet up in cafe houses and discuss politics and life, and therefore maybe spend also a little bit less time actually in front of the internet. Also Austria is a very beautiful country. Tourism is its most important market sector. That means people, whenever they can, they go outside. Another factor why, for instance, the gaming industry, music, videos is a bit actually lower than in European EU comparisons.
Okay, so you're talking about the music and so on. So why is the best place to go for a ticket for the Sound of Music then?
This
must
be,
tour?
This must be Salzburg. You go to Mirabellplatz and you get a fantastic tour. By the way, I think the Sound of Music is more known by non-Austrians than by some Austrians.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They don't know the Fan Trap family? Nope.
More now because they see it everywhere in Salzburg by the tourism
Yeah, they realized there were a lot
industry.
of buses and everything coming around. Just, who is that lady over there? Okay. Seriously, e-commerce.
Yeah.
Is it big in Austria? Is it not?
The 10 most successful e-commerce retailers present 809 million euros in 2014. The biggest players are Amazon.at, Universal.at, Solando.at, Otto-Versand.at, and then on the fifth place, Amazon.com again. So actually Amazon is mentioned here twice within the 5 biggest e-retailers. Interesting is when Austrians do shopping and they like shopping online, they actually very quickly also adapt cross-border shopping, which you can see that Amazon.com is on the 5th position. So they're not scared actually to get goods from non-Austrian-based companies.
How is their level of English in general?
Very good.
Yeah.
We learn English from 10 years on very intensively before a little bit, but yeah, it is very good.
Yeah, so hence why they don't mind buying from another country.
Absolutely,
as long as okay.
There's no language barrier.
No, okay. And what are the popular payment options? Is it the same as here, for example? Is it like a Visa? Is it MasterCard? Is it like credit card? Or...
Yeah, actually, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah, so payment option number 1 is that you get your delivery, and in the delivery you find an invoice.
Okay.
And on the invoice,
like Sweden. Sweden is
possible,
the same.
Yeah. So you've got a payment date, and you've got then time to pay by this date. This option is the preferred one because it gives you the possibility to return
without paying or anything like that.
Exactly.
You just say, okay.
Exactly. Then second one is cards, so credit cards. And then also very common still is that you actually get your delivery and you pay the postman at the doorstep cash. So this is for people who...
You need to trust the postman, really.
Yes, it's an institution in Austria, the post.
Okay.
Definitely. And then the last option is installments. This is like, a credit system.
Yeah, okay. And is it better to have like all those payment systems on your website?
Definitely. If you look, if you do research and you look what the big 10 e-retailers are offering, it's all the same. So that means they're all offering minimum these 4 options. Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Okay. And in terms of delivery options, is there anything to have a look at as well?
Again, if you look at the main players, they offer a range of facilities. So you've got delivery by post, you've got delivery by couriers. Hermes is a big player here. Very popular is that you pay a little bit more and have the delivery within 24 hours. E-commerce website should also offer a 30-day return option, which is common practice.
Okay. And finally, you were saying that people in Australia tend to interact with each other and they go to cafes and everything. It sounds very laid back.
Yes, it is.
But are they still interacting on social media or not at all?
Yes, no, they're using social media as well. So actually 3.4 million are using Facebook. So over 60% who are using the internet are socially active on the internet. 3 million are using YouTube.
Okay.
Twitter is used by 117,000, for instance. And in terms of business networks, it's interesting, for instance, that LinkedIn is not number 1. It is Xing, like in Germany. Exactly.
Okay.
LinkedIn is growing. LinkedIn is growing very rapidly. But at the moment, Xing is still the market leader. Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite Facebook pages are international brands.
Okay.
Like Red Bull, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Of course, the big star of Austria.
Swarovski, crystals, and at the moment it's head tennis. I guess maybe linked with Wimbledon as well. Yeah. In terms of Twitter, Austrians like to follow journalists. So
for the news and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So non-journalists.
Coming back to their kind of thirst to get like the fresh news and everything.
Yeah, and also the interest in what's going on a political level.
So you mentioned that 80% of the Austrian population is on the internet. Why is that? Is it because in terms of the access to the internet, is that easy to access? Is it easy to buy a broadband facilities, or how is it going?
Yeah, actually the broadband prices in Austria are the cheapest within the EU.
Okay.
But actually the uptake of broadband is the lowest. So there is a mismatch.
Okay, it might be because I guess people are not really going for it, so they are putting the prices down just to make people...
To make it more attractive, but so far it's not sort of taking
It's not
up.
working. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Culturally speaking, we often say that German people are really into quality. They need to know where products are coming from and stuff like that. It's the same for Austria?
Very much. Austrians like crafted items. They, for instance, give preference to wooden toys for children over plastic toys. When you buy clothing, the mix of materials has to be clearly in the descriptions. You wouldn't buy just thinking and looking. You want to know, of what it is made. Austrians also prefer to buy actually Austrian produce in terms of food. An example here is that every supermarket, even budget supermarkets, has its own organic range.
Okay.
So everything organic is very much up in the list of importance for Austrians.
Okay, so if you go for food, you need to have a separate website and something organic as well.
Yeah, actually that's a good tip, to summarize it. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your answers.
You're